Super Dave here with another Super Dave review. Super Dave here with another exciting Masters of the Universe review, and this time we're looking at a Origins cartoon collection. First of all, we're looking at Stratos from the 2000X line. He is looking awesome and is just a dynamic looking figure. I really liked the incarnation of him in the original 2000X show. I thought that his look was really good and really cool. And so there he is. We're going to be taking a look at him, and you can see what episode it says he debuted on there. And that's about it. Just what else is in this line, and then a little bit about his wings there. But we're going to take a look at Stratos. And then second of all, I've been holding on to this guy for a while, but we've got the Battle Cat Man from the Masters of the Universe crossover with the Thundercats. And I just think that, this is a long time coming. I do have a Battle Cat Man to compare to this that I custom thanks to Mythic Legion. Some of you know what I'm talking about. But this guy is cool. Just take a look at the back of this one. Isn't that neat? Yep. Comes with a comic book in this particular incarnation of Battle Cat. This time Battle Cat Man. And I'm going to tell you my theory on Battle Cat Man as we review him over in Eternia right now. And let's zoom on in here to take a look at our Battle Cat Man and our 2000X Stratos. And first, let's take a look at their accessories. Battle Cat Man is the only one that comes with a comic book this time, and it is Third Eternia, and you see Lion-O and He-Man back to back with Chitara, and there's Battle Cat Man, some other figures. But look, that is cool. And unfortunately, as many have complained, Mattel got cheap and did not give us any comic books for the 2000X line, which is a shame, personally. But Battle Cat Man also comes, of course, with his helmet, his pauldrons, his gauntlets on his wrist, and some special claws to snap onto his hands, and almost like a He-Man-esque type chest armor, but it has the Thundercats logo in it. And then we have our 2000X Stratos equipped with his wings. You have to pop those on like gauntlets, but they look so quality, so nice. This matte finish that they have been putting on these figures, just like our Ram Man and He-Man there, really bring out a quality. Now, I've heard some complaints recently of some QC issues, especially with paint, and I think that's starting with the next wave, or hopefully maybe I'll get lucky and won't have that problem. Yeah, some of them have said, like the Evil Lyn and stuff, just do not have good paint, but this guy has great paint, and all the ones I've gotten so far has had excellent paint work on them, so I have no complaints on that front. But we're going to now take a look at our Battle Cat Man and our Stratos Articulation. Alright, bringing our Stratos on in here, we're going to look at him first, and he is looking awesome. He is going to be able to look up that much. He's going to be able to look down all the way. He gets a little bit of head pivot, turn left and right. His arms are, of course, going to be able to rotate full 360. His arms will go out a complete T-pose, no bicep swivel, of course. He does have rotation at the elbow. And then if you equip this on his gauntlet, you'll see it's looking pretty cool. He's got like a joystick here, and then the wings will rotate all the way around, and they will also hinge forward and hinge all the way back, so they can be parallel with his arm, or they can be back some like that, or they can spread out like so. So there's going to be a lot of options there, because you don't only have the rotation and hinge here, but you also have the elbow and the shoulder and the wrist range that you'll be able to use to pose. And this is the same way over here. So you can see, you get them together here. It's like he's holding that joystick to fly. Now also he's got like these jets here in his backpack, and then he's also got like jets on his calves. Isn't that cool? So that's neat. And he will also rotate at the waist. That's the only articulation he has here. No chest, no diaphragm articulation. He is going to be able to kick up a good amount. He does have single jointed knees, which also rotate. He has a little bit of thigh rotation. He's going to be able to go full tiptoes with that foot up all the way, and a rocker with a peg hole. And so pretty much your common Origins articulation. Again, as we talked about with our He-Man 2000X Mike Young production He-Man cartoon collection, he is taller than the other Origins, and he is a little lankier, a little skinnier, but still has great muscle tone. But he is looking really cool. Alright, now to bring in our Battle Cat Man, we'll take a look at his articulation. He's going to be able to look up that much. He's going to be able to look down pretty good amount. He's going to get a little bit of head tilt and swivel also. He of course can turn side to side. No mouth articulation. That would have been nice. That would have been so cool if he had had the ability to open his mouth and have some teeth in there. But I guess, you know, because of being Origins, you get 360. You will be able to get a T-pose. No bicep swivel, but he does have single jointed elbows which get swivel. Of course, hinges and swivel at the wrist. And both of these guys have your typical horizontal hinged. That popped off because of that pauldron on his shoulder kind of being tight there, but it'll pop right back on. And then of course he will swivel at the waist. He gets full splits, has a little bit of thigh rotation, kicks up about that high. He also has boot cut, and he will get full tiptoes, go up all the way, and excellent rockers with a peg hole in the bottom. So excellent articulation, typical of Origins in this particular guy too. Now one cool thing is you can remove that helmet, so that is neat, as you see there. But I like it with the helmet on. I think it looks good with the helmet on. Now let's go ahead and clip on these things and see how this looks. Trying to see exactly what this is supposed to clip onto. Does it clip onto this? Let's see, or is it just his hand? I think it's just his hand, yeah. You can clip it right onto his hand. But these clip right onto the hand really well. You can see how they look. So you don't have to remove these and clip it on the wrist. That's what I was unsure about. But yeah, they clip right onto the hand. And that looks good. It would look more intimidating if he could have had an open mouth with teeth showing. But it looks good. It's got the animal type feet. I mean, you know, the whole problem I have with Origins, I couldn't really use this with my Masterverse, my multiverse, my you know, universe of MOTU, because it looks too much toyish, toy line. Not sure about this head, but I think I'm still going to be better off with the head that I've got. But now let's go ahead and do some comparisons. And here is our 2000X Origins cartoon collection Stratos next to the new Eternia Stratos. I just don't have his face mask oxygen thing hooked up here, but I wanted just to show you his basic form. He has furry toes, beast kind of toes, kind of like we have here with our 2000X, and then our vintage collection Stratos, which makes definitely looks more like the again, vintage, but also your classics compared to some of the others. Had just the regular boot feet, and that's what we got with classics as well. Very, very traditional looking, comic accurate, I would even say, other than the fact that the comic book one had flesh tones, but has the, instead of the beast feet type, has the regular shoe type feet. But you can see the similarities and the differences. Most prominent is most Stratos figures have the wings attached to the arms, almost as though they are a part of him, I would say. Whereas this one, it's almost as though they're all mechanical. Like everything's mechanical. His ability to fly is mechanical. And I would say that in the vintage, it's kind of assumed that he can fly naturally. But there again, I will say I'm not sure about that, because yeah, he does have the backpack. They all carry a backpack that's kind of like a jetpack. Each one of them have a version of the jetpack. So, and there is Zoar flying into action over here, close to our bird men. But yeah, it's just, I guess it's left up to your interpretation. Is Stratos and the avian beings, are they able to fly naturally? Or is it more like 2000X portrays, that it's all mechanical? It's all done through, you know, mechanical type means. Thrusters on the boots, thrusters with the wings, thrusters with the backpack. So, you know, there you have it. And here's our two Battle Cat men. And here's our Origins Battle Cat man that we're looking at. But here is my Mythic Legions / custom Battle Cat man. They released the regular Battle Cat style man, but he just had a regular, like, tigerish looking head, just very stoic. Matter of fact, it looked like this, but it was green with the yellow stripes. It was very calm. This is more of a leopard, but yeah, that's what the one that came with this looked like. It was a little bit furry and had basically the right green colors on, and the jewel and this neat looking sword and the skirt piece. But it did have boots, and I took the lion figure, the classic lion figure called Chief Carnivus, the classics lion figure that was also in the 2000X cartoon. And I put these beast type feet on him in place of just those regular burgundy boot looking pieces, and painted the burgundy ball green and the feet green. But there you have him. Now the head, you say, where did the head come from? Well, Loyal Subjects released a little battle cat, a tiny little battle cat, and I popped his head off and painted it the colors that would match this battle cat type. And I've got a video on this too, by the way, if you're interested in seeing it in detail. But it came with this helmet, and I, you know, even though maybe the face is a little bit, you know, more smiley almost, to me it looks good because of the fact that it's looks like the Battle Cat helmet that we are all used to. And I don't remove this from there because underneath it's kind of glued and rounded and messed up to be able to have this helmet on. So you know, if I want him without a helmet, I would pop the one on that came with this figure, the one that I just showed you that looked like a leopard but was green with yellow stripes. So I just leave it like this, and he's got a tail and everything. So, you know, and you can attach the pieces. He's got like that extra attachment to give him that beast looking humpback versus a man. So, you know, you can take these pauldrons off and it looks even more beastly, if you will. But this, to me, is my Battle Cat man to go with my He-Man. Now, you might say, well, how does that fit in? Because the backstory with this Origins Battle Cat is just kind of weird. You know, this third Eternia kind of deal that they're talking about, like he's fighting Beast Man and just is a different creature. Well, the way I explain it, and this is the way I like to imagine it, is that when He-Man was in battle, and if he needed an ally other than just a ride or a big cat that can pounce on someone or even bite them, that he could charge his sword again and aim it at Battle Cat and hit him again with another dose, and it turned him into Battle Cat Man. That's what I imagine, because somewhere along the lines I had read somewhere about the battle armor He-Man, that he went into battle as He-Man, but if he needed extra armor, he could raise that sword aloft and call down even more powers from Grayskull and become battle armor He-Man. Now that's not what Netflix showed us. Netflix had Aldria, Teela's friend, Andrea, create him that special enchanted and technological battle armor. That was the way the Netflix it explained it. But I have seen it. I don't know if it was the bio card with classics or if it was in the comic book, but I have seen it explained where He-Man reaches up his power sword and calls down more powers somehow to do certain tasks. Well, if he could do that, let's pretend that's possible, then I think he could zap Battle Cat again and give him the agility and the ability to have arms and legs and fight alongside of him side by side. So that's kind of the story that I go with when I think of Battle Cat Man. But yeah, this is really not going to be my pick for Battle Cat Man. I don't even think I would put that head on this. I like this head and helmet better, me personally, because I'm used to that style helmet. That looks basically just like the classics helmet, to me, that's on this cat here. And I like this as my Battle Cat Man. Now I just wanted to try something here. I took this skirt off of our Mythic Legions Battle Cat and put on the Origins and Thundercat crossover Battle Cat loincloth around him, and that does work. And I attached one of the little claws. It doesn't really hold on very well, but you could attach it there, I guess, if you wanted to. This guy's legs are real weak, so they don't like to stand very well. Plus, with those feet, I have to almost use putty to get them to stay put, as you can see. But, I mean, it does work. I mean, his tail, you can still make it work there. And then he can have a traditional loincloth like the rest, if you wanted to do that, if you're in need of something like that. You might could even borrow the feet off that guy. I don't know. And if you don't have, access to the, of course, the Loyal Subjects Battle Cat like I was able to get a hold of, then you could possibly even use that Origins head for this, this one, if you thought this one looked more realistic. I don't know, but just thought I'd show you that right quick. And here is our Stratos next to our 2000X He-Man. They're looking great together. They just fit in perfect together here. And of course, there's our 2000X Ram Man as well. He is tall and imposing. Matter of fact, let me move him on in here beside. You remember, unlike in the Filmation cartoon where Ram Man was shorter than everybody else, in 2000X he was taller than everyone else. So they changed it up on that, which kind of makes sense. He's almost like the Andre the Giant. He's almost like, the big fella, tall and wide, bouncer type fella, which I think it was kind of a cool move for that to be done. I kind of like that idea myself, more so than even having him, kind of a squirt type fella like Filmation did. But, that was fine too. Classics pretty much had him the same height as everybody. But there's our cartoon collection, King Randor and Queen Marlena. And you can see how they look alongside of these as well. You could always pair them up with them. I think, even though they were totally different looking in the 2000X, they're obscure enough that you could make this work. I don't know if the cartoon collection and Origins will go deep enough to give us a King Randor or Queen Marlena, but if they don't, you could definitely use these in their place for this scale, and I think they all look good together. And thank you so much for joining us for this Super Dave review. It's been fun taking a look at these 2000X Mike Young collection figures, along with our Zoar flying over here and the rest of the gang. But it's been a lot of fun. Hope that you've enjoyed it. Be blessed. Take care. Come back and see us again. Like, subscribe if you haven't, and comment if you have something to say, and we'll look forward to talking with you next time. Be blessed.